It's like after the timer comes on, which is now.
Yes. Great evening, ladies. It is the Three Wise Pet Pros here. Thank you for joining us tonight. Brief introduction. We are Three Wise Pet Pros. We come to you with knowledge, information, advice from our point of view. We do not make any health claims. Each individual has their own aspect and thought process of different topics. So we don't always agree on the same thing, but guess what? That's what makes us special. Uh, and then a couple other things that make us special. So I'm Vet Tech Tony, Vet Tech with Dr. Crew Mobile Veterinary Service. Also, as Nicole would say, pets and walks and pet sitting extraordinaire. So
Yes.
there's that about myself. And then we have Miss Nicole, who is our science teacher down in Tennessee. I don't know why I said it like that, but
Because we
um,
down in Tennessee.
yes, our King Corso. Uh, you got four over there. That makes her
Yes.
official King Corso extraordinaire.
Michelle.
Yes, and then we have our entrepreneur, Dr. Kroon, Army vet extraordinaire, like 100%. She's an entrepreneur in so many ways, but what comes with the wealth of knowledge and holistic pet care veterinary services as well.
We do
So
that.
welcome all.
Thank
Welcome,
you,
welcome,
Mr.
welcome.
Tony. Welcome. Great to see you, ladies. So you said, Nicole, there's some storms happening down there. What's going on down there?
Yeah, we were so excited. Well, teachers were so excited because they called the storms and then they made an announcement that schools were dismissing at 1:45 today. The storms still have not hit, but I got home at 2:22. They're still saying that the storms are on their way, and we're supposed to have some heavy hit areas. This is our time for our tornadoes. We also have
Mm.
tornadoes in like May. So this is the time that we just kind of the weather is 32 degrees one day, 63 degree. I think it's 61 right now, but the temperature is supposed to drop to 32 in a couple of hours. So this is the time where we're just like hunkering down, charging our devices.
Right.
That kind of stuff. And getting frozen. Hello,
Right.
Robert
How's outside
Crazy Hair.
things? It looks like kids just around here. Yeah.
Like, wait a minute.
So,
Hi,
but I was
ladies.
happy to be home today.
Hi there. I know you were. When you said 1:45, I was like, ooh, that's a good time. Like, if
Mhm.
Tony and I got back from vet calls at that time, we was like,
Yeah, that's a good
Okay.
time to get back.
okay. Very
Yes.
exciting.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so
So our topic for tonight.
Oh, yes.
Let's not forget. It's the holiday season.
Yes, it
And we're
is.
eating. When I got back to work on Monday, I asked my students, I said, how was y'all's Thanksgiving? What were you thinking about? Did y'all think about me? And some of them said, yeah. And some of them said, And I said, good, because I didn't think about y'all. I said, what did we mostly think about? And we came up with food. We were thinking about some of the kids were talking about the pastries and the cakes that they make for the families, and we talked about how much food we had, and that brought into discussion about our pets. I was dog sitting a sweet little dog, Ava. I hope her mama might be watching or see the live. Um, Ava
hey,
came with her own food, and that was okay. But I was boiling chicken and making some turkey, and Ava, she knew what I was doing, and she
ah.
got a little bit.
She said she got a hold of it, or you gave her a little bit.
She got a little bit.
She got a little bit. I gave her a little bit. I couldn't resist. I
Mhm.
couldn't resist. So, Miss Sinclair, if you're watching, that's why she loves me so much. But yeah,
Well, you know, I was going to say, speaking of can't resist, that's kind of a big thing for a lot of pet owners in general. It's like looking at those little eyes, you know, all those smells coming from the kitchen. And yeah, oh my God, Nicole, you
yeah,
did the eyes perfect. The
yeah,
eyes just like that. And, you know, head tilt to the side. Luckily this year, Mayo, she's really great. She's not a food beggar. And I can't take that credit myself. She wasn't that way when I adopted her. But she was sitting right there though, because she doesn't want me anywhere out of her view. So she was over there, and
yeah.
the table, and you know, my parents and daughter and everything. The spread was there. It was great. She was not begging at all, which was great. What about you, Tony?
Good
Do you
job,
your
Mayo.
I
bag over
know.
there? I know.
So with the 3 dogs that are here, so we didn't eat here at home. We went over to my sister's house, and I thought about taking Kaori with me. I was like, that sounds like work. And so it's like, because I haven't taken her over there previous to the today, you know, Thanksgiving. So it was like I chose to leave them at home. So Kaori, Kaya, and Rayal, they were all at home because the other 2, Mira, I know she feeds them because she'd be like, no, I don't. I'm like, you can like twist the top or a certain paper and they come too quick for you to
Yeah,
not feed them something when you're in the kitchen,
yeah,
because Kaori doesn't do that. So, you know, like you were cooking them some chicken and turkey, you know, I do that, you know, sometimes for them as well. So it's a difference. Stainless steel dish, porcelain plate. Get back. It's
yeah,
2 different things.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, you're not getting them this, because I really try not to, and I mean, I don't even say try. I don't, when I'm eating, give them from the same pot that I'm doing, because they need to
right.
know
Yeah,
the
no,
difference. Yeah, because that's when
yeah.
that begging comes in, and you
Mm-hmm.
know, and the people who have little children, they're just kind of like, they're just hit, because you can't tell a toddler be like, and doggy be under the table like, this is the best spot in the house.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that we need to let our viewers know that what I was doing was boiling. I would go and I would have a pot for the dogs, just a pot of boiled chicken. No seasonings, none of those, because I don't really have time to go and see what is permissible for the pups. So I just boil a pot of chicken, and so that's what I was pulling off of for them, just the bland. Because if they were in the wild, they wouldn't add garlic or paprika
Right.
and those things. So this is what you get. Yeah, just get you some chicken.
So,
So
what about the bones? What about the bones? Cook versus non-cook? What's the rule for that?
well, so I know after talking to you guys, I do have a breeder that is a hunter. I love him, and he had some deer meat, and so I bought some deer shoulders from him. And when he brought them, I'm looking, because in my mind as the science teacher, I'm looking like, oh, you were standing over by a bush, and now this big piece of shoulder is on my table. Now what do we do? Like,
Okay, science teacher standing by a bush, and this is a
I,
shoulder. I thought
I'm
it was
I'm
like
thinking
more
about
to
the
the
deer
story.
in my mind. No, I'm thinking about the deer in my mind standing by a bush, and I'm trying to picture this deer shoulder in his body. And it was
Yeah.
so big, and I felt like, oh, could I just go ahead and give this to the dogs? But it was so much meat on the shoulder that I decided that I needed to stick it in the oven, cook it. But VetTech Tony, I know I asked you guys about it, and you were like, well, once you cook it, the bones should not be given to the dogs. And that was one of my questions, because after I was scraping the meat from the bone and trying to get it from the tendon, some of the bones seemed a little flimsy, some of it seemed a little brittle, and those are things that could land us in the vet. We're thinking, oh, I'm giving Rusty a treat and he's gonna love it because it's the holiday season, but 2 weeks later we don't know why he can't poop or why he's having some obstruction. So if we're providing meat for our dogs that has bones in it, it should not be cooked.
There's a comment here in the chat from Mr. Robert Crazier Holmes. He said, I pressure cook bones, then process them like a soup for the dogs. So that could be another way.
Like a bone broth.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, pressure cook. You got a pressure cooker?
That gives them protein.
Old-fashioned pressure cooker.
Broth.
Yeah, like put water. Obviously put water in there and then the soup, it has all the nutrients and minerals. I assume, or marrow, or I don't know.
If you cook a bone in a pressure cooker too, I'm pretty sure that he has seen it. Like they can get like really mushy. So I mean, that's a different stage of offering bones to a dog. So like specifically, I know because I'm a bone sucker.
I haven't seen a bone get like super soft inside of a pressure cooker or something like that. They could get like super soft. I mean, I guess
like
so.
When I I cooked some beans and I did the turkey smoked turkey wings.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically like the end joints or the turkey legs. I mean, the end joints, they can get so soft you can just like.
Oh wow! Well, the students and I did an experiment, an inquiry activity, where we were using vinegar. We put a boiled egg in vinegar, and then we put a raw egg in vinegar, and then we put a chicken bone in vinegar. The eggshells were like they dissolved. But the chicken bone, we still have that chicken bone today, and we can literally bend it like a almost like a gosh, I can't think. Yeah. It's bendable.
Like Gumby. Like a ligament or a tendon, maybe.
Yes, like Gumby, the whole bone, like all of it. And so, but then my question would be, how safe would the vinegar be? I know vinegar is a natural, it's safe, but how safe would it be to give your dog a vinegar bone? But it was flimsy. So,
well, I would assume that it absorbed quite a bit of vinegar.
Yeah,
to see them eat it like
probably tasted like a pickled bone, huh?
Yeah. I mean, vinegar, like you said, can be good, and vinegar is something that can be good for our bodies.
Yeah.
Diluted correctly, of course, everything.
Right.
Alkaline or acidic, one of those. It's acidic. Yeah.
A bendable bone.
Yes. So pet foods to avoid or try. Another thing that you want to avoid would be, in my opinion, things with a lot of dairy, like mac and cheese, putting that into your dog's bowl or something like that. That could be really like you're just asking for a pile somewhere in the house, or just soft poo if your dog isn't used to having mac and cheese every day, which he shouldn't be.
And it doesn't take much, because people will be thinking like just a little bit. So like dressing is another common one, because people make that all different kind of ways, but like they'll put the turkey or the chicken in it and the giblets, and they'll be like, it's just if you making dressing, stuffing like the good way, like you should.
And with onions, which are not good.
Onions, garlic. Garlic can be given in small portions, but those onions for sure. And then the amount of fat that can be in different parts of the meat, depending on, just that fat
Right.
cannot be processed by them,
Yeah.
by their digestive system.
Yeah.
Pancreatitis.
Be super careful, you guys. We know on the other side of that, we've got all the foods and everything, but we also have other aspects of the holidays that we can talk about, safety wise.
Mhm.
Family coming over to the house could create some situations, kids, just being very observant is going to be so important as your pet maneuvers the holidays and family members and parties and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I
Well,
know
if your
one thing
dogs
that is.
are, go
Oh,
ahead.
no, what?
No, go, Tony.
Okay, so one thing I know of, I go over my friend Amy's house. Her dog is like socks. Like, he likes socks.
Oh.
Socks. SOCKS. So when you take off your shoes, you have the opportunity to put on slippers, or point being, if you take off your socks, you better have them tucked away, zipped up in a pocket, because he also goes into bags and finds your socks.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes it's like more so like for attention, because he'll be sitting there on the bed with it, like, and you'll be like, "Where's my sock?" And then you'll be like, "Kingsley," and then you'll go in there, and he'll literally be sitting there like, I mean, depending on how long he had them, they might just be, a little juicy or maybe a little holy. So little things that when you say company comes over, for family and friends to be aware of, for you to announce, don't leave your purse down, or, don't put your plate down low, because everybody's dog is not going to not want to eat off someone's plate. You sit it there, and dogs will test other people. Like, they might not eat off your plate, T, or my plate, or your plate, Nicole, but let little Johnny set his plate down. It'd be like, you don't even do that. Why are you doing that? Like, dogs are just like kids. They do stuff when other people aren't around.
They are.
So.
Also, speaking of pet safety around the holidays, like you said, Tony, having other people in and out of your house. My family is not a dog family. It's so sad. I feel sorry for them, but they're not really a dog family. But if you come over here, there's gonna be a dog somewhere, and so just when your dog is not used to being around a whole lot of people in the house setting at one time, safety is important, because the dogs could get overwhelmed. People may not be able to read those cues that the dogs give us, standing back, tucking the tail, and we don't want accidents to happen. So it's very important to keep your pet safe. If you have to put them in a crate in another room, or like you said, Tony, let the people know who are coming over, hey, she doesn't like to be stroked on her head. If you're gonna rub her on her back. Just to keep everybody safe. This is a very stressful time, just not financially, but personally, emotionally. We do these things, and we got everybody coming in, and all this energy is here, and it could be a lot. It could be overwhelming. Just like it could be overwhelming for us, it could be just as overwhelming for our pets.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Hey, Kayla Burns. Hey, Dickie Joby.
Hello.
LG Ramos. How you doing, sir?
Hey, LG.
So G have joined us talking about holiday pet safety, whether it's foods or whether it's, toys, or being observant of what's going on around the house. Like you said, Nicole, that's some serious anxiety. We don't always think about it like that. We just think, oh, they're so excited. But if you prepare, just like you prepare for anything else, you can start. If you do have a very anxious pet, whether it's a dog, a cat, or a horse, horse families, they have families over too, and the horses, they can sense, they're very sensitive. I just took a class learning more about the energy of animals, and their energy, like spread is like very wide, very much wider than ours. They can feel so much more. And so no matter what kind of pet you have, you can prepare by starting either some techniques or some holistic products that are going to start to get them on a more even keel, so that it's not like the day before now you're trying to start doing something that's going to help them. It's not going to be able to help them usually in that quick of a time. So
one thing that made me think of when you mentioned both between everything that we just said, like the anxiety and anxiousness when doors are opening and closing, being aware of where the dogs are, because we don't want family members to be like, oh my God, he got out the door. And then the dog is overly excited. And I had a dog before, and you'd be like, come here. And he wouldn't come out. I was like, ooh, never again. But I have a dog that will not listen to me, because that is like the scary thing, is frustrating. And then there's a theory that they could just run, like, and be like, you're not getting ready to catch me. So being aware of doors opening, barn doors, gates, wherever your dog is contained at, make sure wherever you put the coats that, Fluffy is in there. Be careful. Just like things that seem minor, just really being aware. It's kind of like think of it as you have a toddler, a 1.5-year-old toddler that you need to make sure where he or she is at all times. Like same thing for your baby, no matter how old your fur baby is, unless he's just like, I'm like, can't walk, you need to be aware. And then also, if that dog can't walk, make sure the baby's not walking over to it or, hitting it. Seen a video the other day, and the baby was like, hi. And then it started hitting the dog, and the dog was like, Arr! I was like, oh, that could have went so wrong, because the dog, it was a little kid, so the dog's face was like right, they were and the dog did lunge out, but he had him on a leash, and the parent pulled the child back really quick. Like it just could have went so wrong, but like those two people being aware of what's happening right there.
Yeah.
Be safe, y'all.
Some of these like colder places where I mentioned this, I think, recently about the space heaters, because it's something that I do. I don't always like to heat the entire house, with gas prices and everything. People may want to warm a smaller part of the house, and I definitely do that. It'd be like me and Mayo, like in one little room, be like, hey girl, and we just all in there just nice and warm. But and there can be a temptation, to when you pop out to the store, I'm just popping out to the store, want to keep the space warm, want to keep just thinking about coming home and turning the corner and seeing, flames or anything like that, like just no, for your house sake, for your pet's sake, that would be a horror show.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Woo. So,
or like back in the day, didn't we? Well, I say back in the day, we still do open the oven to heat the house.
Right.
I remember doing that. Yeah.
It'd be like the Wicked Witch or whatever.
Especially if you had like a gas stove and the electricity went out.
Yeah.
Like an ice storm coming, and be like, oh my God, that used to be kind of fun when we were younger doing that, because that would only be like one person. All his cousins would be able to go over to Aunt Rosie's house, and we'd be over there and be like, this is where we at until the electricity come back on.
Yep.
Like an in-home bonfire.
Yeah. But being safe and because like you said, you don't want it to turn into a bad thing. So be aware of surroundings, electricals, the cords, holiday trees, and things that animals like to grab and chew on.
Cats love trees.
Right. You want to be able to go back to work and say, I had an awesome holiday. Not that Fluffy got tangled in the lights and they caught the fire and the tree and the dog. Yeah. So safety that's a must.
Definitely. Hi, Sandra Reese. How you doing, lady?
Hi, Sandra.
Happy holidays. Well, you guys, I think that's pretty much about it. I'll wrap this thing up with a nice little 3 Wise Pet Pros bow. thank you everybody for joining us. Robert, Sandra, Kayla, Dickie, OG, and everyone else who joined us. The Three Wise Pet Pros. We love to learn, share knowledge, and have a lot of fun while we learn about our pets so that they can have their best life while we have our best life. So make sure you join us. We've got the Three Wise Pet Pros group on Facebook, and we've also got the Three Wise Pet Pros page. So come join us at both or either of those places so that you never miss a live. It's Dr. Crew, Dr. Tanera, the Tectoni, and Miss Nicole signing off. We'll see you soon.
Traces.
Peace.